Unconditional positive regard. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. Welcome to day 1058 of What's She Up To Now, documenting my journey as I transition from the brick and mortar corporate world of business to the online world. And today in our Supersize Your Business idiom for today, which was don't get your tinsel in a tangle, or don't get your undies in a bundy, don't get your panties in a wad, don't get your, knickers in a knot or knickers in a twist. All meaning, you know, don't get upset over things. Don't get so invested and so crazy and you know, set off by things that they destroy or ruin the situation or the holiday for you. Tinsel is, of course, Christmas related. The others are just pretty much general. Undies in a bundy was favorite in my family. I don't know, maybe because we have a bunch of girls in our family, but we were talking about that. But as I was looking into and researching that, and hey, what do you do to not get thrown off the horse during the holidays? And Carl Rogers, a psychologist, came up with, and I don't know if he came up with the whole 4-step process or not, but one of the things he said was in step 4 was to practice non-judgment, and he called it unconditional positive regard. We all have people and situations that tend to trigger us, and if we take a step back, breathe, and decide that we're not going to judge, hey, you get to be you, I get to be me, we can practice something called non-judgment or unconditional positive regard. We respect other people because they're human beings and they deserve to be respected, and we don't have to judge what they feel, what they think, how they, what their opinion is about anything else. They get to have their opinion, we get to have ours. Boy, could we use some more of that on social media and online, and hey, in the world, right? If you and everyone were to practice unconditional positive regard, thinking the best of others and not judging and putting down and making assumptions about them, there wouldn't be any bullying or crime or pain or suffering or doubt or fear or worry. There probably wouldn't be. So I thought that was really interesting and educational. I'm going to actually look into it a little more because now I'm curious about it. For the last 10, almost 11 years now, judgment has been a huge thing for me in terms of actually literally being less judgmental. Now, as human beings, we automatically judge. We automatically, you know, look at something and say, well, what does this mean to me? Do I need to be afraid of this? Do I need to react to this? Do I need to respond, or do I just let it go? And so often, more often than necessary, me included, we hop in and start doing something or having an opinion or sharing our opinion when it's just not necessary. It's just something we should just let go and let by. Now, I'm not talking about what's going on in politics right now. I think everybody needs to be involved and really know what's going on and really step back and look at the big picture and think for themselves, think for ourselves, not go with what's going on in the media and on social media as well. It is beyond ridiculous and pathetic. But that's, you know, a huge example of lack of non-judgment, lack of unconditional positive regard. It is absolutely conditional negative regard and slander and all, and treason and all kinds of other things, which we don't even need to get into because it'll all work itself out. But I think it's a great way to face and look for the interactions we are going to continue to have with people moving forward. I think COVID has done some incredibly positive things, or as a result of COVID, some amazing and positive things and moves in different directions have happened. But I think that there's been a whole lot of negative that we can't just gloss over and ignore. We need to say, how do we not fix it, but how do we move forward? Because we can't change anything from the past. You know, the hundreds of thousands of businesses that have been destroyed due to the political nature of the COVID pandemic, they're probably not coming back, but there's hundreds of thousands of people that will need to move forward and do something differently. How can we positively impact the world by contributing to that in a positive way? Well, judging it and complaining about it and bitching and moaning and saying, ain't it awful, and acting like victims is not going to move forward. It's not going to move us forward. It's not going to move me forward, you forward, or anyone forward. We need to find ways to actually say, okay, yeah, this happened. It was terrible. And, you know, my business got shut down and put out of business because of this, but I'm not going to throw in the towel and roll over and die. What am I going to do in a positive way to create and move my life forward? And as long as we have that solution focus, I think that we'll be fine, at least on individual basis or case by case basis. Other entities and other businesses have been absolutely gifted and exploded during this same time period. You know, for the hundreds of thousands of businesses that have lost, a handful of industries and businesses have gained, at least financially, in ways that are kind of unfathomable. But that, again, a situation for another day. But as we get together with our families and relatives over this week, actually, what are the things that we can do to make sure that we have good interactions? Well, like anything else, especially in our businesses, we need a plan. We need to think in advance about who and what are going to trip us up or make us feel bad about the situation. Secondly, we want to make sure that we are establishing a coping mechanism or a buddy system or something for ourselves, or phone a friend, a way of, or maybe you just have to go outside and get a couple of breaths of fresh air. I still do the count to 10 thing. In my family, we have people that trigger us. And so I am like, deep breath, you don't have to respond. Thirdly, less is more. Remember to pace yourself and decide and know where the line is for you. Yep, I can tolerate this. I can't tolerate that. And then fourth is the unconditional, practice non-judgment, and the unconditional positive regard. Practice that, use that. Because guess what? A lot of times what we put out, we get back in return. So if more and more of us practice this, then more and more of us will receive that in return. If we expect people to behave in that way, we will attract people that behave in that way. If we expect people to be jerks, we attract jerks. It's just the universal nature of the world. So I thought that was really fun. It's part of why I do the idioms, because every time I have to figure out what an idiom means, where it came from, how it interacts, and how you can use it to build and grow your business, it makes me get more creative and be more open-minded and look for, well, how does this fit? If somebody initially looks at the idiom, don't get your tinsel in a tangle, you think, what the heck does that have to do with me running my restaurant? What does that have to do with me selling widgets? What does it have to do with me running a business or having an online business? What does it have to do with anything? Anything else? It has something to do with everything if you look for it, if you look for the connection, and everything's connected. So why not find those connections, realize those, create some more neural pathways in myself and others to understand the world in which we live and work better. Fun challenge today was just about doodling a flower out of 5 little dots and making it into a flower and labeling it. So I said, hey, just do a doodle and share it, because that would be fun. Doodle a flower. And that's a nice low key, which is perfect for this time of year, type of fun activity. Any one of us, we can be talking on the phone, we can be doing anything else, we can be eating breakfast, and we can make a little flower doodle. And guess what? It's just fun. Doodling is stress relieving. It's just fun to doodle. I mean, who doodled in school? Anybody ever, the teacher's droning on about something and you're like, oh my God, I don't want to listen to this, or I want to be home, or I want to be outside playing, and you're making little doodles on your paper. I was definitely a doodler, still am a doodler. If I'm listening to things, I think it's why I switched to taking notes all the time, is so I didn't waste my energy doodling and miss something that might have been important to me. So that's what I'm working on. Get Up and Go Challenge was, today, relationships, about visualization and Power Vision movie, which I learned from Jim Edwards, one of my all-time favorite tools. I don't use it often enough. I just kick myself because I don't use it often enough, and I know how incredibly powerful it is. So that's it. I'm going to keep it short today. I've got a ton of things to do. Didn't get the presents wrapped yesterday, so I need to get on that. My mom came home yesterday, though, so we all got together at her house, which was awesome. There were over 10 people, but guess what? We've all been around ourselves, or a couple. I guess my son's had COVID, which he got from my mother-in-law, which is mind-boggling, but I think it's because she had it in like June or July or something, and they didn't know, which I don't know how they didn't know. She must not have gotten tested when she was in the hospital, which is super weird. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got. Have an amazing day. If I can help you in any way, if you have any questions about, taking your business online, taking a portion of your business online, continuing to serve the people that you were serving, but your business is shut down and you're just dead stop and you don't know what to do, hit me up and we'll brainstorm a quick, I'm talking 5 minutes is probably all I can spare right now. But if you got nobody else, ask. Please ask, and let's make sure that you, like everybody else, is finding ways to move forward, not ever being stuck because you don't feel like you know what to do. All right, awesome day. Catch you tomorrow.